Good morning. Today we are discussing about the one of the common respiratory disease, that is bronchial asthma. Bronchial asthma is more common in the children in the family having history of the bronchial asthma or allergy, or it may develop in the adult after repeated exposure to the air pollutant or at the occupational exposure. Now the asthma is a heterogeneous disease. It has a multifactorial involving disease. It depends on the interaction between the multiple susceptible genes of the patient and environmental factors. Now the environmental factors are airborne allergen, air pollutant, infection, mostly viral infection, irritant, chemical, fume, stress and exercise. The developing country, the air pollution is more. When the person having allergy going to outside the home and it come in contact or exposure to the irritant or fume exhaust by the vehicle or any industrial produced dust, then it get symptom of the bronchial asthma. It is usually characterized by the chronic airway inflammation. The bronchial asthma, there is a chronic airway inflammation, mostly by the eosinophil induced inflammation. Now the asthma is defined by the history of the respiratory symptoms such as wheeze, shortness of breath, chest tightness and cough that vary over time and in intensity together with variable airflow limitation. Symptom is variable. Sometimes patient has no symptom or patient is asymptomatic, or sometimes patient has severe symptom. Then we will think a patient may have asthma. Now the asthma is an allergic disease of the airway. Asthma is an inflammatory disorder of the airway, and it is characterized by the hyperresponsiveness of the airway leading to the excessive bronchial constriction, response to the inhaled trigger that would not affect in the normal person. Affect only the airway but not alveoli. The normal person exposure to the trigger factor doesn't produce bronchial constriction, but in the allergic patient, exposure to the trigger produces the bronchial spasm and lead to the symptom. Now the feature of in the bronchial asthma. What happened in the airway? In the airway, there is a chronic inflammatory disease, mostly by the eosinophil. Many cells take part in the inflammatory reaction. Neutrophil, lymphocyte, basophil, mast cell, and airway hyperresponsiveness compared to the normal. There is a epithelial shedding. There is a turnover the epithelial cell. They remain in the lumen There is a subepithelial fibrosis and basement membrane thickening, hypertrophy of the smooth muscle, mucosal congestion, and edema by the microvascular leakage, mucus hypersecretion forming the mucus plug, and lastly airway remodeling resulting in the airway narrowing. All factors are responsible for the decrease the diameter of the airway. So the patient feel difficulty doing the breathe out. Now look at this slide. There are many trigger factors. One is a common cold, mostly produced by the viral infection. Second is sinusitis, pollen, dust, grass, tree, house dust, feather, animal, dandruff, fur of the animal, mostly the cat, dog, dust on furniture, and fungal infection also. Now trigger factor is a paint. Newly painted furniture, if the allergen with patient develop symptom by exposure to the painting furniture at gas station, at the petrol station, the exposure to the tobacco smoke, industrial chemical, and during the winter opening the window, contact with the cool air lead to the spasm, air pollutant, mostly the chemical industry. They produce the fume dust. Sometime after laughing or after physical exercise, or it may produce after some stress, sometimes it produced by the some medication such as aspirin. Now when the hypersensitive patient exposed to the allergen, this allergen is taken by the antigen presenting cell, dendritic cell, to the lymphoid tissue of the respiratory system. At lymphocyte by the plasma cell, they produce the antibody, immunoglobulin. These antibody are attached on the surface of the mast cell and basophil. Then patient be sensitive after second exposure. This allergen combined with this antibody, then they produce some chemical, some inflammatory mediator such as histamine, cysteine, leukotriene, inflammatory cytokine, and prostaglandin. They cause smooth muscle contraction, hypersecretion of the mucus gland, attraction of the eosinophil count from the blood to the inflamed site, increase the capillary permeability. So there is a secretion in the bronchial lumen, increase the inflammatory response, or lead to the narrowing of the airway. Now in the normal person, respiratory system has dominant Th1 system, but in the allergic patient, Th2 system is more predominant. Now the Th2 system produce interleukin 4, 5, 13, 9. Now the interleukin 4 and 13 activate B cell, it produce the plasma cell, and plasma cell produce immunoglobulin E antibody. Now the recruitment of the eosinophil by the interleukin 5. Now the interleukin 9 activate mast cell degranulation and leading to the substance responsible for the contraction of the airway. When we suspect patient is having asthma, when patient has recurrent episode of wheeze, troublesome cough, wheezing, that is after exercise, these symptoms are variable over time and intensity. They are more at the early morning, at night. Sometimes there is no symptom and it worse at night or early morning. Symptoms mostly occur after exposure to the allergen. The duration of the common cold is more in the suspected case of bronchial asthma. This symptom may improve automatically or with the treatment. Now the type of bronchial asthma. There are two types of asthma. One is atopic and second is non-atopic. In the case of the atopic bronchial asthma, history of the allergen is present. It is more common in the children and adult. History of the rhinitis, eczema, conjunctivitis are common, and family history of bronchial asthma is also positive. Skin prick test positive to the allergen. IgE level is elevated. In the case of the atopic bronchial asthma, prognosis is good when the patient avoid exposure to the allergen. Now in non-atopic, it is more common in the adult. It is not related to the exposure to the allergen, fume or dust. It is mostly followed by the upper respiratory infection. IgE level is normal. It is associated with the obesity, gastroesophageal reflux disorder, chronic sinusitis, and chances of the nasal polyp is present. The patient has allergy to the drug aspirin. How to diagnose? Clinically suspected patient of bronchial asthma who has characteristic symptom pattern. Symptoms are often worse at night or early morning. They are vary over time and intensity, are triggered by the viral infection, exercise, change in weather, exposure to the allergen, irritant, exhaust fume, smoke, etc. It is documented by the evidence of the variable airflow limitation in obstructive pattern. Some patients are no significant variability. It favors the COPD. Once you suspect diagnosed bronchial asthma, you should document it by the test such as spirometry. On the spirometry, post bronchodilator reversibility should be present. It improves with the treatment or spontaneously avoid the exposure to the allergen. Now the common investigation to be carried out in the suspected case of the bronchial asthma. 1. Blood. 2. Sputum. Chest X-ray, spirometry. Evaluate for the comorbidity and allergy test. In the blood count, eosinophil count may increase. Sputum shows eosinophilic cell. Sputum may have charcot-laden crystal, Kurzman spiral, and cruella body. Chest X-ray may be normal or may be hyperinflated finding. When the patient is having symptom and X-ray is taken, X-ray is hyperinflated finding. Asthma is diagnosed by the spirometry. We should assess other associated etiology. One is GRD, second is OSA, obstructive sleep apnea, and obesity. These chances of the asthma is more. Sometimes skin test for allergen should be done to recognize patient is allergic to which allergen. If normal, then we do the bronchial provocation test. Now in this we should do the spirometry. Spirometry finding variable airflow limitation. There is a significant reversibility. It is a hallmark of bronchial asthma characterized by the intermittent and reversible airflow limitation. Before starting, we should confirm patient has asthma. It is documented by post bronchodilator reversibility by the spirometry. Do the first baseline spirometry, then inhale or 12 microgram SABA, then repeat test. And if increase in FEV1 12% or more than 12% and increase to 100 ml in FEV1 or FVC from baseline, then we can say significant reversibility in the patient may have bronchial asthma. Second test to document variable airflow limitation by the peak expiratory flow rate. There is a excessive variability in peak expiratory flow. Daily diurnal variability in peak expiratory flow is at least 10%, then we can say patient may have bronchial asthma. Now, significant increase in the lung function after 1 month of anti-inflammatory drug, that is inhaled corticosteroid. FEV1 increase after 4 months of course of anti-inflammatory drug, inhaled corticosteroid, increase 12% and 200 ml, or PEF by the 20% from the baseline. Positive exercise test. The patient has bronchial asthma without taking any medication. If you do the spirometry before exercise and post exercise. Post exercise, there is a fall in FEV1 more than 10% and at least 200 ml in FEV1 for pre-exercise test. Now the positive bronchial challenge test fall in FEV1 greater than 20% with the standard dose of methaqualone, then we can say patient has bronchial asthma. Spirometry test should be performed or test it documented before starting treatment. Variable airflow limitation decrease with the treatment as increase in the lung function after controller treatment help to confirm asthma. It is not present between the symptom when the patient is asymptomatic. If you do the spirometry, it doesn't show the significant reversibility. When the patient has viral infection or patient is to beta-2 agonic, then there is no significant reversibility if you do the spirometry. Atopic asthma may be diagnosed by the skin prick test or he has increased serum IgE level. Commonly in the general practice, patient is put on treatment for bronchial asthma without documentation prior to initiation of the treatment. So after taking same treatment for long time, then patient come to the higher center for confirmation of the diagnosis. At that time, we can't say a patient is known case of bronchial asthma, but we can suspect patient is taking bronchodilator medication and give the response. Patient want to confirm the diagnosis. At that time, we should do step down controller treatment. So we decrease the taking medicine dose. If the symptom recurrence or emerge, lung function fall is confirmed asthma. After decreasing taking medication, symptom develop, it favor the bronchial asthma. If no change in symptom after decreasing medication dose. Then we should consider stop the medication and closely observe patient for at least 1 year. When the patient has no bronchial asthma, patient has other disorder other than bronchial asthma. In case of the persistent symptomatic patient take medication, and even though patient has symptom, then we should consider stepping up controlled medication for 3 months. Reassess symptom and lung function after 3 months. If no improvement in the symptom, we step down at the previous dose of medication, and we should suspect other etiology such as obstructive sleep apnea and assess for it. How to assess asthma? Asthma is assessed by the asthma symptom control, treatment, issue, comorbidity. Now the assessment of the asthma control symptom and future risk of adverse outcome. Whether patient is a adverse drug reaction to the taking high dose of controlled medication. We assess the bronchial asthma by watching or looking the symptom of 1 month prior to the visit by the frequency of the daytime and nighttime symptom of the asthma. Use of the short-acting beta-2 agonist and limitation of physical daily activity. We do the assess the modified risk factor for the exacerbation, and spirometry is performed at 3 months in first year, then at least annually later on. Asthma control assessment. Assess for last 4 weeks or 1 month of prior visit. Daytime symptom, use of deliver, any nighttime awakening and physical activity limitation. Daytime symptom more than 2. Use of deliver more than 2 per week. Nighttime awakening and activity during the day. Good control, none of above symptom. In the symptom, daytime use of the deliver, night awakening should be less than 2 per week, and partially controlled in the 1 or 2 of above present, then we can say patient is partially controlled. Uncontrolled, any 3 or all symptom in the daytime symptom episode more than 2 per weeks, use of the sabha more than 2 per weeks, nighttime awakening and some daily physical activity limitation, and it is called uncontrolled asthma. Now the patient is on treatment. We assess the treatment issue. Which step of medication is taken by the patient? We should tell whether patient is adhering to the medication as per prescribed by the treating physician. If the advised to inhale twice a day, patient is not taking inhale medication twice, then symptom is not fully controlled. So we should watch and confirm patient is strictly adherent to the medication. We should see the side effect of the medication. Watch inhale technique. Proper inhale technique is important for the good control. Assess the comorbidity such as obesity, GRD, and OSA should be assessed and treated. Thank you. We will take the treatment part in the next lecture. Thank you.